What's good, everybody? How we doing? Today we have Characters That Piss Me Off Part 2 by the channel Waves. Oh my god. There was a movie that I just watched recently. It was called Bring Her Back. I could not finish that movie because of one character that was pissing me off. And if you've seen this movie, you know who I'm talking about. Her name is Laura. And she was gaslighting these kids that she was looking after. And my god, watch the movie so you'll know what I'm talking about. Another character that comes to mind is the kid from Terrifier 2 and 3, the main character's little brother. Oh my god, that guy pisses me off. He's just so whiny. And like the Terrifier 2, if you've seen any of the Terrifier movies, they're unbelievably gory. Terrifier 2 basically had him whining about how nobody believed Art the Clown was coming back. Then Terrifier 3, he wouldn't believe his older sister that the Art the Clown was coming back. It was driving me insane. But I digress. Let's jump into the video.
I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
Oh yeah.
Will you marry me?
Mary Jane's the most toxic woman in this whole show.
Now, I've spoken many times on this channel about a bunch of different types of topics around entertainment. How movies and cartoons made me a better man, how video games gave wonder and amusement to my childhood, and how I could relate to certain characters and try to model myself around them to be a lot more like them. I think this is a universal feeling a majority of us can get behind. Because in TV, it wasn't just about the story, the fights, the gameplay, or even the drip. It was also about the characters and how cool they were, how they carried themselves, how they could make a serious situation that they couldn't win at first, an instant win for them and something they could laugh about later. It's something I believe we all admired about TV. And as much of these characters were great role models, had deep lore, or cool as hell, or just had
it's Goku and Vegeta for me. Thank you.
broken transformations,
in Naruto,
a lot of these characters will get me furious. And no, people, I don't mean regular angry like you hate seeing them on screen. Nah, I'm talking about the level of hate I would have for them would be so bad I couldn't eat when I would see them on screen. And you know how angry I would have to be to leave my food out to get cold just because I saw you come on my TV? I would have to be Super Saiyan levels of angry. I'd have to be just as mad as when Gon found out Pito killed Kai, as pressed as when I found out the minimum car payment at my local corner shop is £5. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a couple of months since I last spoke about characters that pissed me off. And today, I thought we could go over some more assholes that I despise and hold the biggest hateful. And this will be perfect to talk about now since my blood pressure is mad high. I'm probably gonna pass out doing this, I'm not gonna lie. So with the pre-yapping done, let us begin. Starting with one of the most insufferable people I've ever seen in my life. So stupid, so unbelievable trash, so degrading.
Who, bro? Who?
Their existence just gets me pressed, man. That guy I am speaking about is Chris Thorndyke from Sonic X. And you know Chris is a giant piece of shit. This guy sucks. See, Chris was an attempt.
I used to love watching Sonic X. I used to always try to convince my mother to let me watch Sonic X on Saturday mornings before we go out and run errands because this was such a cool show to me. I used to love Sonic the Hedgehog. Still do. But I kind of do vaguely remember Chris being a little annoying. I don't remember why. I think it was just didn't really add much substance to the show.
The human character is more relevant. But they made Chris such an important guy in the story. He became Sonic's number 2 instead of Tails, literally taking away more from the guy who's supposed to have just as much screen time as the main man himself. But they took it away from him. This shit is trash. Chris is a selfish, stupid child who does nothing but whine constantly, cry like a little bitch, and sucks up to Sonic so hard that it literally hurt my brain when I was a kid watching this shit. Even then, I thought he was so desperate for Sonic's approval and affection, begging to be alongside this guy at all times. You could even tell Chris was about to be a weirdo when he saved Sonic from the pool of water in the first episode. And look how bro was gazing at him, giving him that light skin stare like he just saw fine shit. It was at this moment when I realized he was about to become some strange kid. If you're not familiar with Chris, let me give you some context real quick. Chris is the main human in Sonic X, whose whole character arc revolves around him being somebody who has attachment issues since he was neglected as a child by his parents. His mom is a big Hollywood actress and his dad is a big time CEO. And big what? This guy was rich, he had all the cash money. He lived in a giant mansion, had a butler, had a maid. His granddad lived with him. He had plenty of people around him. So the whole idea that Chris was...
It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me. Yeah, when you have all that factored into, like, you know, Chris's personality, I guess it kind of makes sense as to why he latched on to Sonic. But man, was he so freaking annoying. He really was annoying though.
dumb, lonely kid with no one to show him love or even to be there for him is one giant, goddamn bitch-ass lie. The guy's chatting shit. He's just selfish. It's not like his parents don't want to be there for him. They had to compromise. What? Slave away so that Chris could have the best possible life. It's not even that his parents didn't want to come see him. It's just that life is hard. They felt bad enough as parents that they couldn't be there for their own son, but they had to. Or else how long would their rich life where they could give Chris anything he wants hold up? And he never realized how fortunate he was to have any of this to begin with. My nigga went to a normal elementary school. Shit, he was probably pulling up in a Lamborghini. And he would never see or realize the difference in life he had to those who had less than him. And even if it's normal to him and standard procedure, Chris could never see how much of a blessing he had compared to those who were less fortunate than him. I would go as far as to say he had no crushes in life, and for a 12-year-old, he sucked. This shit was so bad that Cream, the flipping 6-year-old of the group, called him out on his bullshit. And Cream's mom isn't even there. She's in a whole other dimension. Yet Cream is happy and glad since she's got people around her. Yet Chris fails to acknowledge anyone around him and plays victim. Bun this guy, man. Tanaka, Ella, and his flipping granddad Chuck were there for him. Spoke to him a bunch of times, practically raised him and cherished him as if they were his actual parents. Yet Chris would still be acting like he had nobody. He had friends, a flipping girlfriend, and he still thought he was alone and had nobody. I was so afraid of this shit happening.
See, it would have been different if Chris didn't have anything. If he didn't grow up with like a super rich family. But now when he puts it like all in perspective, what is he so like sad about? Like what that trope doesn't really work in this scenario because you got everything. Now if you don't have anything and Sonic comes along and it makes your life like meaningful, then that makes more sense than having everything and still not being able to see that you have a great life. You know what I mean?
Even though he had people, after all the adventures and bullshit him and Sonic and the man they went through, this guy closed the port on Sonic, preventing him on going home, which could have messed up time just because he...
What the fuck? I don't remember that. He closed the portal to Sonic's own home world and says, no, you can't leave. I don't remember that, but now this is making me infinitely more angrier.
He's afraid of being alone again when he wasn't even alone. Bro, get over it. I don't think any 12-year-old would act like this. They would be too busy buying the stupidest shit with their parents' money. They would be boiling in happiness because of all the materialistic shit they would buy. But Chris is trash. They also forced this guy into the story, making him take key moments away from certain characters from the games. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, when Amy is the one to help Shadow remember what Maria's promise was. Instead of it being Amy in the show, it was Chris. And he was whining to this guy to get his point across. It just ruined it. I just don't like this guy. And even after he kidnapped Sonic and reflecting on why he thought he was gonna be alone and deal with it, to being okay with Sonic going and to eventually become a scientist, have better friendships, and all in all, he just looked a lot better here. This guy's still obsessed over his animal friends. So
like it wouldn't be that bad if Chris was just a side character, you know? But when you put him in the main story, because I loved playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. That's like one of my favorite games of all time. Love that game to death. But it's weird when you have that storyline and you implement these other characters and you make Chris like the main focus alongside with Sonic. It's just like, dude, we don't need Chris. We don't. Just tell the story as it is. You can have him come in certain parts, cool, but don't take away from like the main story. That the story already is pretty badass, in my opinion, you know?
badly. He built the same portal used to take them home, which could have messed up both their worlds the first time. And this isn't even the worst thing about it. The saddest thing about this, after the whole Metarex arc, R.I.P. Cosmo, man, I hear you, Tails, man, I was crying at this shit. Weeping. Eggman then builds Chris's machine to send him back, but there's one problem. They wouldn't be able to know how old or how different Chris's life would be when he would go back to Earth. See, when Chris built the portal to Sonic's world, it made him a 12-year-old again. And in his world at the time when he was making the machine, he was 18. So if he were to flip that and send a 12-year-old Chris, who's actually 18 in his world, but it's been a year on Sonic's world, how different could his world look? And the answer to that is that shit is probably post-apocalyptic. This man sacrificed everything to go to Sonic's world that he may or may not have a world to go back to. We don't know how different it could look. We don't even know if Chris will be the same age. He could be some old-ass man or almost dead when he goes back. This guy, when he was a grown-ass man, was still so hungry to get back to Sonic. He may have no life to go back to. At this point, you should have never left, you mug. I don't rate Chris. His whole character arc makes no sense. The writers made him so we can relate to him. But what's there to relate to? He lives in a Barbie dream house. He's a rich kid. He contributes nothing to the story beside whining, begging to be involved, and replacing characters at moments where he didn't have to. And if you ask me, we should have made Helen the main human in Sonic X. That would have made more sense. And one more thing.
True.
Bum Chris, man. Mary Jane. Now I'm gonna summarize her in one sentence. Fuck Mary Jane. Lord, I hate Mary Jane. This manipulative, conniving scum.
I didn't like her in the original Spider-Man either. I think Mary Jane. I was watching a video about somebody discussing like Mary Jane and how awful of a character she was, and I think it made a lot of sense. She only dated like powerful men, but she couldn't see Peter Parker for who he was, you know? I mean, Peter Parker wasn't the richest guy, but he had a great heart, good intentions, genuine dude, but she would go off and date like other powerful guys, but it wasn't until she found out that Peter was Spider-Man that she was like, oh yeah, like let me just like be with Peter, you know? And that's kind of, I guess, the reason why. And even the Spider-Man cartoon show. That one scene, he showed it earlier, where like Mary Jane's on that ledge and Peter's like, please, Mary Jane. Like, I think he says something like, oh, like, I want to be with you or I want to marry you. I don't know what it was, but she jumps off and then she's like, I just had to make sure you were like, you actually love me. Bro, what are we doing? Come on. That's very toxic.
Bag literally moves like a free agent, trying to talk to all the men in the Spider-Man movies, just to always make a play back to Peter. Get out of here with that shit, you homewrecker.
And by the way, the best Spider-Man will always be Tobey Maguire. That's just bar none. Argue with your mama.
Familiar with the antics Mary Jane has committed throughout the Sam Raimi trilogy. She's a demon. So let me go ahead and summarize all the worst Mary Jane has done, breaking the hearts of many men and just being straight up for the streets. We first see Mary Jane's behavior as Spider-Man Uno. We first see her stop the bus for Peter. And what a nice thing to do. This is so kind of her. What a good human, man. And real quick off topic here, as Peter's walking through the bus, how is this girl not letting him sit next to her? What the hell? Y'all look the same. But as Peter walks down the bus, you just see Mary Jane with her boyfriend at the time, Flash, aka the high school bully, which immediately eliminates any kind thing she ever does. I mean, this guy tried to beat the shit out of Peter, but throughout the entire movie, she just endlessly tries to play a pass at him, flirting with him time and time again, teasing him, making him believe he's got a chance, and then she finally breaks up with Flash to get with Harry. And Harry did Peter dirty here. Whatever happened to bro code? He literally at the start of the movie copy and pasted the exact same facts Peter gave to him about spiders over to MJ, just so he could spit some game. He even wanted Peter to speak to her before he got bit by a spider, but he took the opportunity himself. What an ass, bro. This guy's fake. But while they're dating, Peter pulls up to MJ's place of work and they agree to have coffee sometime. But then she says, don't tell Harry. And that's a bit suspicious. Why wouldn't you want your boyfriend to know you're out here trying to get coffee with some other man? That's a bit sus. Well, it's because Mary Jane never liked Harry. I mean, look at the way she swerves him on this kiss. She did not rate him. And then Spider-Man eventually saves her and she gets that look in her eyes. She was mesmerized by this guy, even saying, wait, who are you?
Mets, baby, love the Mets.
So Spider-Man swings away and Mary Jane is on the phone with Harry, just glazing Spider-Man, gassing him up. And rightfully so. You know, she was starstruck. She almost lost her life. It's not like she would...
Well, she did. She definitely did that.
Mary Jane's a cheater, man. First of all, she's cheating on Harry. Second of all, you don't even know who this is. Peter Parker, Jameson, the chicken. Like, you don't know who's behind the mask. So you're just kissing a stranger for all you know. You could even be kissing the booty warrior. That's nasty, man. Come on. Anyways, later on after the dinner, Mr. Osborn, this is Mary Jane. And Harry has no spine that doesn't defend her. Then she's still trying to make a pass at Peter, literally pulling up to his Aunt May in the hospital. And look at how she's staring at him like she wants him, bro. She's staring into his soul. And she's really listening to him. Then Norman dies, and at his funeral, Mary Jane says he loves him and kisses him at his best friend's dad's funeral. Wow. What is wrong with you, bro? There's a time and place, you flipping.
It is a time and place, and that was kind of foul. I'm not gonna lie to you. And after because at that point they were already broken up. But the fact of the matter is, you did that at. Looking back at this, yeah, she was pretty toxic, man. That was definitely some kind of love triangle, man.
Okay, so when Spider-Man does, Peter's life is getting pretty hard. Lost his pizza job, isn't getting paid enough from the Bugle, and he's missing his university classes, you know, typical Spider-Man stuff. And Mary Jane is still trying to play a boss at him, but she's finally single now. So go for it, man. What's the worst that could...
I'm seeing somebody now.
You mean like a boyfriend?
Well, like I like him.
What? You just flirted with him a second ago. Like, I'm very certain you wanted him to kiss you. How the f do you announce you have a boyfriend after this whole conversation? What's wrong with you? Later on, Peter then gets advice from Doc Ock and gets into his romantic bag to try and win MJ over. Learns some poetry, dresses up in a nice suit, and gets some flowers for MJ's theater play. It was gonna be amazing.
You know who Peter should have gotten with? Is that one girl from his apartment complex. I forgot her name though, but it was his landlord's daughter. And I think she like mistakenly came in to his room. I think because she was like leaning on his door. Low key, she was good looking. She was good looking, but Peter was like, nah, I want Mary Jane. But I'm like, bro, she looked good too. What do you mean?
Then Peter had to go on some Spider-Man shit. You know, he had to go be a hero. Like, what's the worst that could...
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you all to know that the beautiful Miss Mary Jane Watson has just agreed to marry me.
Wow. I would have fucking left. I think he does leave, right?
Oh, come on! To be fair though, Mary Jane did have a reason to be angry at Peter. To her, he was just a regular man. And when he agreed to come to her show, she expected him to commit and actually pull up. You could even see she was upset when there was an empty chair there instead of Peter. But at this moment and earlier, she didn't know Peter was Spider-Man. So in her head, she probably thinks he's just skipping out, which is fair enough, it made sense here. But as the movie goes on, shenanigans go down. Peter loses his powers, gives up being Spider-Man, pulls up to MJ's play, Harry works alongside Doc Ock to kill Spider-Man. Mary Jane being Spider-Man whipped and recreating the same exact kiss they had in the first movie, you know, typical stuff, the usual. Later on, MJ and Peter meet up and start chopping it up, having a normal conversation about feelings. And Peter saying he doesn't love her anymore, which is great since Mary Jane rejected him and she's getting married and...
Kiss me.
What? What? What do you mean kiss him? You're getting married. You rejected him twice. How did you switch up already? Your ring, your wedding.
It's just the manipulation is just, oh my God. It was in an all-time high in this movie, like, bro. And Peter was just like, just stuck in the middle of it. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't realize how bad it was until I'm looking at this later. Like when I was watching this movie, I was like, man, Mary Jane really feeling Peter. Like through all this stuff that she's with. I mean, she is getting married. I don't know why she would like put herself through this. If you like Peter, just be with him. I don't get it.
Ring is literally in the scene. You're wearing your ring. You're asking another man to kiss you, bro. Make your mind up. Then after she gets kidnapped, Peter gets his powers back, Vanessa's Dr. Octavius, and eventually reveals himself to MJ. And she asks the guy to confess to him whilst he's holding a whole goddamn building. Like, move out of the way, bro. So Spider-Man saves Mary Jane, and it's the day of her wedding. Birds chirping, sun shining. It's in a church. It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
And then Mary Jane leaves her husband on the altar. Like,
yeah, because she saw that it was Spider-Man.
Man, I don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Peter
This is a
Spider-Man.
villain origin story in itself. This is what leads most bad guys to becoming bad guys. This is messed up. So she runs all the way from the church to Peter's crib to tell her that she wants to be with him. And then we segue into
Spider-Man 3.
So
Spider-Man 3
Spider-Man
was chock full of memes, man. That has been still used to this day.
Mary Jane and Peter are finally together. It's beautiful. It's like a Disney movie. It was perfect. Except it wasn't like a Disney movie. Mary Jane was hating. She was looking for an excuse to get out of the relationship with Peter for the longest time. She low-key couldn't be happy for him. Everything was going so bad in her life, she had to project it to Peter. And when he kissed Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man, that straight up became her trump card. She got mad at Peter kissing another woman and was just arguing throughout the whole day. And I agree with it to an extent. I mean, if your girl was kissing another man, you'd be pressed too.
Yeah.
Only Mary Jane is a hypocrite. She's literally a cheater. I ain't going back because she's a heifer. She then storms out on their date and later on breaks up with Peter. Or who you may ask? Harry Osborn. And this is just wrong, man. How does this even come about? You suck. And I'm gonna put my hands up when I say this as well. Peter was also moving like a weirdo in this movie. We can't skip the fact that he did cheat on Mary Jane when he kissed Gwen at the parade. But also he was moving mad petty when they broke up. Like he pulled up to MJ's
Like I don't understand how he could do that once he finally got the girl of his dreams. And then he kisses Gwen. Mary Jane, of course, sees it. Even though Mary Jane did the same type of shit, but hey.
Ask Gwen out on a date just to show off to MJ. Shit, he even slapped her. He was going crazy here. So as we reach the end of the movie, peaceful shit happens. Peter forgives Flynn for packing Uncle Ben. Eddie blows himself up, and Harry dies. And then P and MJ share one final scene hugging, and the movie ends. And hopefully this is the end of their relationship because it was horrible. Mary Jane would always have Peter as a number one, but never be real with that. He would always have to do more to get with her than actually be with her. She almost married a whole other guy, and she deserted him on his wedding day. She broke up with Peter for Harry and got Peter so worked up he went over to Harry just to box with the guy. Like, if we're being for real, she's partially the reason why Harry's face
broke up with Peter just for Harry. That is some that's some messed up shit. Like y'all both are friends, but you date me, then it's like, all right, you broke up with me, but then you go with my best friend. Like, even for me, it would feel weird dating a woman that one of my homeboys dated in the past. That just feels weird. Like, I met y'all were like cool, and then she's trying to get with me and stuff. I just could never do that, out of respect for my friends. Now, if he is okay with it and he's like, hey, listen, bro, don't worry about it. What's in the past is in the past. It's fine. And if I like really say, hey, like, are you sure? But even then, I still don't think I would, depending on how, close we are as friends,
Crashed up. There was so much red flags with MJ. How could Peter not see anything besides her being toxic? I don't get it. What was so special about movie MJ? Peter, you wear glasses. How can you not see any of this shit, man? From jump, when she go with Harry, that should have been enough for you to check out. What are you doing? But Mary Jane isn't the only superhero girlfriend who's toxic. All superhero girlfriends are toxic. Amber from Invincible literally knew that Mark was...
Oh, I hate it. I cannot stand Amber. Amber. She made me so mad because, I mean... Mark was trying his damnedest to save not only her, his friends, but the whole city. And she knew this, all of this. And it's like she still couldn't understand or wrap her head around the concept of him having to miss out on some dates to save people's lives. I don't understand.
Superhero. That means every time he would disappear and desert her, she knew he was doing something good. Yet at the same time, she acts like she was entitled to know he was a superhero.
Yeah.
What part of secret identity do you not understand? She was saying she felt unimportant at the fact that he didn't tell her he was a superhero.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, imagine being a superhero. Like, I actually saved thousands of people from like a burning building or like a building like falling on a couple of people at a park. And I saved the day, they didn't die. I go back to my girl and she's pissed off at me because she feels unappreciated. Like, bro. Like, but okay, yeah, I missed her date, but look what I did though. Like, I'm not trying to miss her date, but I just saved all these people. Like, what do we do? Like, no, you don't know. You're late for our date. Come on!
That's like Hero 101. She's smart enough to figure out Mark is invincible, but too stupid to think that if she knew who he was, her life would be in danger. You're an idiot. You're so stupid. What's the matter with you? Lois Lane in My Adventure with Superman does the exact same shit. And to get Clark to admit he's Superman, she jumps off the roof of a building. God forbid she went off her own theories she put together. What if Clark was a Superman? You'd be dead. Then she goes on to argue and have no good points. She was gonna bait out Superman, and again, secret identities are meant to be secret. Where's the same thinking you put into figuring out who they are? You man are dumb. I hate Mary Jane. I don't even like her. Even Insomniac Spider-Man Mary Jane is a wet wipe. She acts like she can hold her own. You're literally a civilian, bro. Go home. Also, the MJ mission sucked ass. They were whack. And one more thing. Screw MJ. DW from Arthur. Now let's just cut the shit. DW is a demon kid. When I was a child watching Arthur back in the day, I swear to God, DW was so annoying. She used to get me heated, man. And I don't care if she was just 4. She was a very self-aware 4-year-old. She was straight up evil. When her baby sister was just born, she started screaming right at her. She constantly made shit worse around her and refused to let anybody who actually knows what to do help her because she thought she knew what the hell she was doing. Yeah. She tried to sell her baby sister for 50 cents to get rid of her. And by the end of all of her attempts to try and get rid of the baby, she decided to just leave the house. Greatest decision she ever made. Go to her grandma's, emotionally manipulate her to get her to rent a boat out to an island just so she could leave forever. And it wasn't until her grandma started saying to her, but DW, your sister's gonna need a role model. She needs someone to look up to. That DW decided to run all the way back to the crib and actually be a better sister. Just for what? To get a mini-me. All of this for what? For your own ego, you sicko. How many times has DW been a prick to Arthur and everybody else in the show? From the countless times she would try to undermine him, to even whole episodes dedicated to just being a hater. There's an episode where DW loses her voice and thank God, no more chatting shit, no more talking crazy, finally some peace. And then Arthur becomes forced to do everything she points out because she can't speak, literally making her her personal slave. But the problem here...
why couldn't she speak?
You can always count on Sunday.
I never really watched Arthur like that. I've seen like a couple of episodes here and there, but I never used to watch it like that.
Is that she was faking having no voice the entire time. So when Arthur goes to tell his mom DW is capping, she don't believe him. And trust me here when I say this, throughout the entire show, every single time DW does some menace shit, does something horrible, or even something she should definitely be punished for, her parents would never do shit. They would have the audacity to punish Arthur constantly and make sure he was held accountable for any mistake he made. But
see, that's fucking annoying. That would piss me off too. See, what I don't like about certain shows that have this dynamic is like the main character gets the short end of the stick because of like his sister or like an annoying brother that's being a menace. I cannot stand that. And it's like they never get punished for it. So Yeah, I get that.
As soon as DW would get caught, nothing would happen to her. This is some bullshit, man. It took Arthur convincing Francine, who's just as much as a prick, to help him bait out DW for lying. And even though Arthur got DW baited, he still lost it because it meant DW would start speaking again. We can't win here, man. Oh my days. DW is a sociopath. She was out here swearing, harassing. She publicly embarrassed her family at a restaurant, dashing spinach onto a worker just because she hates spinach. One time she was in a bad mood, and the only way she came out of it was when she had a revenge fantasy of taking color out of the world and the people that didn't invite her to a birthday party. This child is a psycho. But you know who was worse than DW one time? Cousin Cora. Now, Cousin Cora only appeared once, but she was basically DW 2.0. She was just as much an ass. She was so disrespectful, it made me feel bad for DW. She was a guest in a whole different house. I was chatting shit saying she doesn't like the room and was blaming DW for breaking her necklace. And DW didn't break her necklace, but her mom didn't defend her from said accusation. What type of parent are you? You're trash. Well, you know what Arthur episode made me the happiest man in the world? You know what brought stars to my eyes and as a child made me an all-round more happy guy? I'll tell you. There's an episode where Arthur gets a model plane and spends some time building it. And once he's fixing
it, is this the one that Arthur like punches DW? I don't know if he actually does. I think this is the one he's referring to.
DW just taking the piss out of him, being in his business, trying to sabotage his model plane. And after a hard week of painting, engineering, and designing, he finally finished the model plane. And then DW dashed out a window. So as soon as Arthur found out DW broke his model plane, he spent a week working on it. Arthur achieves one of the greatest goals the Earth has ever seen. Something more important than any historical discovery. Something more important than global peace. Something more great than life itself. Arthur punched DW. And all I have to say to this is you should have gone for the head. I celebrated him punching DW. She had it coming.
Arthur had enough, bro. When I saw this, I thought it was fake. Like, I'm an only child, so I've never really had this issue with siblings. But it's funny to me that Arthur was literally at his breaking point.
Like a top 3 goal in life.
Had it up to here.
Second is beating MJ in a 1v1. And right next to it was watching Arthur punch DW. This was amazing. So like the crybaby she is, she runs straight back into the house to tell her parents. And without even hearing Arthur about anything that happened before he even punched her, they grounded him. And even by the end of the episode when Vicky punches Arthur, his parents are trying to look at this as a teachable moment. Where's the parenting? This is some crap. This is a lie, man. Yeah, one punch was somebody overstepping a boundary. The other was somebody getting bullied. Tell the difference. Even when they resolve their conflict, DW doesn't even give a good enough apology to Arthur. She didn't give a shit. And their parents didn't do anything to DW. She got off rent-free.
I can't stand, Arthur's parents. Oh my God, they were so annoying. Thank you for reminding me how awful Arthur's parents was.
Shit, I can't tell you how infuriating as an older brother or cousin moments like these were as kids. I'm not joking. It's like the younger you were, you could do no wrong. Parents will be out here blaming their kids for fighting back if the other one is doing too much and hide behind saying they're a baby. No, they're not. 7 is not a baby, bro. Stop coddling them, man. That's just you playing favorites. If you can hate Caillou, one of the biggest crybaby, suck-up, bummy children cartoon characters of all time, you can find DW just as annoying. She's evil, man. She's evil. I will admit, though, DW was kind of a savage. Her comebacks were sick for a 4-year-old. They were fire. I recognize game, man. I see it. But hey, these were some more characters that definitely pissed me off. If you man got any more or disagree with the ones I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all you man for tuning in. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. And one more thing.
All those characters were valid, bro. I think out of all the ones that he listed, Mary Jane was probably one of the worst ones because a lot of people can probably relate to someone like Mary Jane in real life because a lot of that stuff happens in real life, you know? But I mean, dating you, then dating your best friend and dating all these other dudes and coming back to you, you're married, still want Peter to kiss you, but you know, Mary Jane did some shit too, but you know, Peter kissed Gwen, and it's just all this stuff. It's just so much was going on in those movies, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think Peter was probably better off without Mary Jane, to be real. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you head on over to Waves' channel. Give him your support, like his videos, subscribe. And if you enjoyed the reaction, give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with more reactions. Peace!